5 Live. It's official. Salary cuts and freezes included in national budget. The opposition walks out in protest row, with Cayo South Area Representative and Corzal Bay's Elvia Vega is sworn in as member of the House of Representatives. These stories and more coming up in tonight's newscast.
It's a fact that you can access unlimited services with Smart. Tired of being measured or cut off when you need to be connected? It's a fact that when you sign up for Smart's Plus plan, you get unlimited talk, text, and unlimited data. And it's a fact that you can sign up with your group of up to 5 members for Smart's Share plans and up to 40 members for Smart's Enterprise plans for unlimited talk, text, and data. Smart has the true unlimited plans. That's a fact. Be smart and live smart.
In these challenging times, the one thing that is certain is that the Belize Bank Limited is here for you. There is nothing more important than your health and safety, and we continue to make every effort to make banking safer for you. Our staff is working around the clock to make sure you can do your banking conveniently 24/7 using our mobile banking app and online banking and keeping ATMs up and running. We value your relationship with us and are here to provide the support you need. First responders are also out there 24/7. Thank you, healthcare workers, security forces, firefighters, caregivers. You are all appreciated. Stay safe. We will get through this together. The Belize Bank, our country, your bank.
A workplace that is healthy and safe protects you and those depending on you at home. Prevent the spread of COVID-19 at work by following these steps. Always practice safe and healthy habits, like keeping your work environment clean and disinfected. Adapt working conditions and methods to reduce the risk of infection. Use personal protective equipment properly at all times. Speak up if you do not feel safe, because your safety and health is the priority. Frontline workers are exposed to a higher risk and need particular attention. Cooperate with and support them.
It takes all of us to stop the spread. A safe and healthy workplace is a better workplace.
For more information, visit www.covid19.bz. A message from the Belize Chamber of Commerce and Industry and the National Trade Union Congress of Belize in collaboration with the International Labor Organization.
I was 17 and in love, and I thought he loved me too. But now I know that a loving partner should not take away your choice of clothes you wear or the music you listen to. He should not take away your purse, car keys, or your phone so that when your family calls, you cannot answer. If your partner is controlling you, it is domestic violence. Call 0800 A Way Out or our cell phone number 672-9628. This message is brought to you by the National Women's Commission in collaboration with Miss Universe Belize with funding from the Engender and Spotlight projects.
This newscast is brought to you by the Belize Bank Limited. Our country, your bank. Good evening and welcome to News 5 Live for Friday, April 9th. I am Sabrina Daly. After weeks of back and forth between the Prime Minister, his cabinet and financial secretary and the joint unions, who have now filed notice of industrial action, the 2021 to 2022 national budget was presented in the House of Representatives this morning. News 5's Isani Caetano has the details.
the sixth most indebted nation, the fifth most severe depression of 2020, our status as one of only 13 countries on the planet that do not even appear in Transparency International's corruption index, hence leaving us without a ranking. That is the legacy of the UDP. This is the extent of the national decline which my administration begins to reverse with this, our first national budget proposal.
The presentation of the 2021 budget was preceded by a lengthy preamble that once again condemned the previous administration for the difficult financial predicament left in its wake. It's nothing that has not been said since the PUP took office on November 11th of last year. It is, nonetheless, a stark reminder of the miserable economic situation we are presently faced with.
The projected outturn for the fiscal year ending 31st March 2021 is dismal. Despite our back-breaking efforts since assuming office to halt the flow, the red ink, no pun intended, by limiting spending to priority areas and eliminating waste. Total recurring revenues and grants are projected to fall by 28%, exactly twice the level of the overall economic contraction for 2020. I repeat, for emphasis, for every dollar government expected to collect, it actually collected 72 cents.
By contrast, to every 72 cents that government collected in revenue, it was spending 86 cents in capital expenditure. In reality, to every dollar GOB received, it was spending 14 cents more than it collected.
Notably, amidst the cuts and reductions in spending in various sectors, wages to public workers actually rose by $11 million, or 2.5%. Overall capital spending exceeded budgeted levels by 5%, rising to $294.8 million from a budgeted level of $281.7 million. In summary, overall, for every dollar government expected to spend, it actually spent 86 cents.
As it stands, Belize's debt is a little over $4 billion. Prime Minister Briceño contextualizes that staggering amount by breaking it down to the sum every man, woman, and child would have to pay in order to turn things around financially.
The scale of just how much the government owes today is breathtaking. The equivalent of $10,000 for every man, woman, and child. $50,000 in debt for each family of 5. The inconceivable total sum of $4.2 billion. That's the number 4. That's the number 4, followed by 9 digits. For the average Belizean citizen whose annual income under the UDP withered to $5,800, a level not seen since 1992. Such unearthly indebtedness is unconscionable. For the nation state of Belize, this magnitude of public debt, some 130% of the country's entire annual economic output, places us, as I indicated earlier, as the 6th most indebted country in the world.
In order to cover its debt and right the sinking ship that is Belize's economy, the Briceño administration needs to realize savings. To do so, it says it is forced to turn to teachers and public officers and their existing wages.
The salary adjustment is necessary, but it is no fiscal elixir. That alone is far from sufficient to reverse the public finance morass left behind by the last UDP administration. Painful as it truly is, the $60 million in salary adjustments and the $20 million foregone for increments and allowances in this budget is one step in the hard slog back to fiscal finesse.
The expected revenue for the new financial year is roughly $1 billion.
Upon this principal scaffolding, we proceeded to build the budget for this fiscal year, which projects total revenues and grants of $1.03 billion, an increase of 14.5% compared to the projected outturn of fiscal year 2020-2021. Of recurrent tax revenues, $247.5 million will come from income and profits, $6.4 million from property, $137.7 million from international trade and transactions, and $484.7 million from the goods and services.
Reporting for News 5, I am Misane Cayetano.
Once today's House meeting was adjourned, the press met Prime Minister John Briceño outside the National Assembly chambers. As viewers may be aware, while PM Briceño has debated numerous budget presentations as opposition, today was his first budget presentation as leader of the country. His presentation went on for approximately 83 minutes, a personal record. But the Prime Minister felt that it was important to lay it all on the table for Belizeans to appreciate the current economic crisis. Here's what he told reporters.
It was important for us to be able to lay on the table exactly what we've gone through, and that Belizeans can fully appreciate the challenges that we're facing at this time. The financial crisis that the UDP left the country, and by extension us as a new government, it is something that we just can't play over or just breeze over it. It is important for Belizeans to fully appreciate what we're trying to do, that we cannot continue in the ways where we're just spending and not seeing as though the revenues that are coming in, and to address the underlying fundamental issues that are affecting the country, the issues that how we're going to grow the economy, how we're going to create jobs. And by extension, that can help us to be able to get into fiscal sustainability within the government.
The five-member opposition, led by Colette Area Representative Patrick Faber, walked out of the National Assembly this afternoon, following the use of an offensive remark made by Cayo South Area Representative Julius Espat. In rising on a point of order, the leader of the opposition was referred to as a boy. The term, while belittling when referring to an adult male, also carries a racial connotation depending on its use. It was enough to trigger a walkout when the Speaker of the House did not get Espat to apologize for the pejorative language. Here's how that exchange unfolded.
Madam Speaker, I am not yielding to him.
It's a point of order. You must yield.
Yielding.
You must yield.
I don't must. You sit down, boy.
Members. Madam Speaker.
Members. No.
Madam Speaker, I will ask you to have him apologize
members,
to me. That remark is completely
today.
unparliamentary.
Madam Speaker, I will repeat myself. Emergency funding of $12 million
So
was
just say
spent.
repeat yourself, Madam Speaker. You to give up
Madam
yourself.
Speaker, $12 million was spent when it was never spent before. $12 million built 100 roads. $12 million hired 40 contractors. $12 million was spent legally.
Madam Speaker, this member is really out of order, and if you refuse to discipline him, if he can call me a boy, what if I would call you gal? What if I call you gal and he just want to strike off for the record? That would be the most disrespectful thing. I demand an apology from him, Madam Speaker, and if we don't get that, then we are gone.
Responding to the backlash following today's House meeting, Espat took to social media where he wrote, quote, "During the discourse, I used the word why, and it was used on the basis of immaturity and never from an alleged racial connotation," unquote. For the record, the recording of what was said in the House and News 5's verbatim transcription do not support Espat's claim he used the word in its Creole context. Coming up, there is more on today's action in the House of Representatives, including the swearing in of Elvia Vega, who just won the Corzal Bay election. When News 5 returns.
Hello, friends. This is Dr. Bob Roberts with another 60-second sermon from God's Word. The Bible says, avoid every kind of evil. In 64 years of preaching, I have met many people who think that they can do what they want to do, go where they want to go, enjoy what they want to enjoy, without it affecting their relationship to Christ or their influence on others. They remind me of a young lady defending her continual attendance at some doubtful places of amusement and said, I think a Christian can go anywhere. Her friend responded, certainly she can. But I am reminded of a little incident that happened last summer when I went with a party of friends to explore a coal mine. One of the young women appeared dressed in a dainty white gown. When her friends remonstrated with her, she appealed to the old miner who was to act as a guide for the party. Can I wear a white dress down into the mine? Yes, Mom, returned the old man. There's nothing to keep you from wearing a white frock down there, but there will be a considerable to keep you from wearing one back. Our carelessness and thoughtlessness often becomes a means for the smut that tarnishes our character and witness. We should therefore abstain from evil, and all appearances of evil, or that which looks like it, leads to it, or borders upon it. He who is not shy of the appearances of sin, who shuns not the occasions of sin, and who avoids not the temptations and approaches to sin, will not long abstain from the actual commission of sin. It's a chance you cannot afford. Today's 60-second sermon has been presented by Christian Foundations of Faith in cooperation with the Baptist churches in your area.
Prevenir el contagio de la COVID-19 requiere que los negocios de todos los tamaños y sectores den máxima prioridad a la seguridad y salud en el trabajo. Los gerentes y empleados deben realizar evaluaciones de riesgos para identificar áreas y procedimientos que ponen en peligro las vidas y los negocios. 6 pasos para crear un lugar de trabajo seguro y saludable. 1. Identificar posibles fuentes de transmisión de virus. 2. Determinar quién podría estar infectado y cómo podría infectarse. 3. Discutir y decidir las medidas de prevención y control. 4. Implementar, comunicar y testear medidas. 5. Asegurar que el equipamiento de protección es adecuado para cada situación. 6. Mantener registros, revisar medidas y actualizarlas cuando sea necesario.
We must all do our part to slow the spread. A safe and healthy workplace is a better workplace.
Para obtener más información, visite www.covid19.bz. Un mensaje de la Cámara de Comercio e Industria de Belice y el Congreso Nacional de Sindicatos de Belice, en colaboración con la Organización Internacional del Trabajo.
COVID-19 has forever changed our way of living and the way we do business. Now, our main priority is to stay connected with our families, friends, work, school, and business associates. Digi wants to advise all customers that we're resuming the suspension of services for non-payment for the current month's bill starting April 2021. Customers are advised to pay their February 2021 bill to avoid any interruption of services. If you're experiencing difficulties in making payments, we encourage you to visit any of our 13 Digi stores countrywide to make a convenient payment arrangement. Payments can also be made at any Digi agent countrywide or online through Atlantic Bank, Belize Bank, Heritage Bank, or National Bank of Belize. Digi remains committed to working with all our customers to ensure that they continue to enjoy the highest quality communication services by providing convenient payment options for all. Together, we will make it through. Digi, our national telecom, here for you.
What does live and let live mean to you?
Live and let live means everyone having the freedom to be themselves.
Live and let live means that I can be a mother and have a career.
It means treating people the way you would want to be treated.
And making sure your business is accessible for all Belizeans.
It means that everyone deserves to be treated with dignity and respect.
It means to love your children no matter what.
It means to support people who face discrimination.
It means that men and women should be treated equally at work.
It means that everyone is able to contribute to building Belize.
It means saying no to all forms of discrimination.
It means love your neighbor as you love yourself.
Live and let live. Respect for all Belizeans.
A new area representative for Corozal Bay took the oath of office in the National Assembly this morning, succeeding her late brother, who lost his battle with COVID-19 shortly after unseating former area rep Pablo Marin in November 2020. Elvia Vega won decisively over UDP opponent Gilberto Campo during a by-election on March 3rd, and this morning, during the special sitting of the House of Representatives, she was sworn in. News 5 caught up with Vega following today's session.
And that I will conscientiously, impartially, and to the best of my ability, discharge my duties as a member of the House of Representatives.
So today is a very memorable day for Corozaleños. As you see, they're all here today in full support, and I will forever be thankful to God for that.
What does it mean for women having another woman inside the House of Representatives?
Oh, it means so much because, as I always mention, it's not only a man's world, but it's a woman's world as well. And I am here to work. I am here to represent the people of Corozal Bay, to be the voice that they truly deserve to have. You know, Corozal Bay has been abandoned for the last 12 years, and I am here to work.
The rapport between the unions and government has been generally contentious. What began as consultations during the preparation of the 2021 budget has resulted in a salary cut that sees the wages of teachers and public officers being reduced by 10%. The PSU has expressed discontent by serving a 21-day notice of intended industrial action. BNTU, on the other hand, is still polling its membership to determine a subsequent course of action. Nonetheless, PM Briceño spoke of a mutual understanding between both parties that the collection of government revenues needs to be ramped up in order to make good on outstanding taxes.
As government and the joint unions have agreed, this can be achieved first by sparing no effort to collect current taxes from all sources from whom such taxes are due, and simultaneously by ensuring that legitimate outstanding taxes are recovered immediately. Whether current tariffs will suffice without the need for incremental revenue measures will depend on those who pay and those who collect. To those who evade the tax system, thereby imposing a disproportionate burden on the rest, I signal today, without hesitation, that the state's enforcement agencies will thereafter adopt a muscular approach to revenue collection and enforcement.
While the PM did mention the 10% salary cuts and 3-year increment freeze for the public service, he did not belabor the point during his budget presentation. Outside the House, reporters asked PM Briceño whether he had taken a deliberate decision to spend so little time on these controversial issues.
I don't think we've moved away from anything. We basically said that the wage cut is going to be there. We've been consulting endlessly with the unions, and we're prepared to continue talking to them. What the fact of the matter is, and without being in any way disrespectful, is that we just don't have the money. There is no money to be able to continue to pay the amount of wages that are in front of us. And as I pointed out, it's not only the unions or the employees of the government that are making cuts or just by doing that we're balancing the budget. We're cutting on our projects, we're cutting on all of our expenditures all over the place. All of us have to do our little bit. Everywhere across the world, I mean here in the Caribbean right now, you're starting to hear more and more countries that are talking about that they don't have money to be able to pay salaries. We, by extension, we are doing our utmost best to keep everybody working.
The government of Belize is putting in place the necessary measures to keep the public service operational, should the Public Service Union take industrial action. As we have reported, the Public Service Union has already served GOB with a 21-day notice. Among the public servants are key revenue collectors, whose absence from office could possibly sink the public finances into a deeper crisis. Well, PM Briceño says not on his watch.
Every responsible government has to be concerned about it. But we are also putting something in, we're also working on our plans that should we go down that road, and I hope we don't, that we can put in place the necessary measures that we can continue to collect the revenues. We are putting plans in place so that the government continues to function. At the end of the day, the government employees, they work for the people of this country. And if they believe that they can just walk away from their jobs, well then that's their right. But we are going to ensure and we're going to do everything possible to keep the government working.
SpeedNet, a parent company to Smart Belize, is reportedly indebted to the government of Belize to the tune of $11.1 million in GST. The sum has accumulated over time as a result of interest and penalties accrued. The outstanding debt is in the name of one Vanessa Briceño, a relative to the Prime Minister. When asked about it, Prime Minister Briceño responded saying that Vanessa had been trying to pay the outstanding debt for some time. Here's how he puts it.
Let me correct you that I have no interest in that business. So let's start with that. Secondly, Vanessa, without talking her private business, has been trying to correct that for a very long time, because it seems that the way the GST was charging the GST, they were charging the GST on the gross sales, when the GST should only be charged, as you know, on the amount of the value that you put on. Right. And the value that they're getting, like what, about 12 cents, you know, on what is being sold. Right. And so that is, and because they're being back and forth, they're working up the interest and the penalties, and it's going up. Total ridiculous situation. That is one of the points that we were making also to the unions. When you see these millions of dollars that are being owed by the business community, a lot of that is going to be uncollectible, because in many instances, because you are negotiating and you know how they go, the pace that they go, they are just adding interest and penalties, that it's totally out of whack. So I know that Vanessa is still, has been actually from the previous government has been trying to meet with them and trying to see how they could settle it.
The Governor General of Belize, Sir Colville Young, tendered his resignation on April 4th. In a letter addressed to the Prime Minister, the Governor General noted that he is resigning in keeping with a request made by the Prime Minister on March 15, 2021. He noted that the PM should not hesitate to call on him for further service during retirement. The recent death of Sir Colville Young's predecessor, Dame Anita Gordon, brought to light the maltreatment she received after she demitted office. PM Briceño says he will seek to ensure changes for future GGs.
Well, I will not discuss the discussion I've had with the Governor General. What I will tell you, though, is that I have great respect and admiration and love for the Governor General. He has served us well. And we need to be, as a nation, grateful for the work that he has done. Now, what we're supposed to be ashamed as a government, all since he was from the Anita Gordon, is the way we have treated our Governor Generals. I mean, if you look at what the salary that the present Governor General is getting, I mean, it's shameful for the head of state to be paid $4,000 a month. It is shameful that the Governor General does not have a health insurance. It is shameful that the pension that we will get is going to be a pittance. Now, we have said that that needs to be fixed. And despite the fact that we're going through a tough economic time right now, we are going to fix it. And I've given my commitment to the family of the Governor General that we are going to do everything to fix that, so that he can also benefit from the improved pension that we want to put in place for the Governor General.
So who will be his replacement?
We have not decided that at this time.
Another member of the opposition, Shine Barrow, the area representative for Mesopotamia, also spoke during the budget presentation today. He says the Briceño administration needs to do more for parts of Belize, like his division, where residents are struggling to keep up with the cost of living. In his view, there is one project that could provide much needed opportunities.
One of the ways that this could be done is the Waterloo project, the port facility, which would bring about 2,500 jobs, Madam Speaker, and triple revenue, be a great source of revenue collection, Madam Speaker. So it is these things that I believe the Prime Minister should focus on, should have hit the ground running when he got elected, he and his cabinet, so that we can bring about the alleviation. Since we're not giving any food, we're not giving any COVID-19 relief, Madam Speaker, we need to employ these people.
After the break, an accident in Santa Familia has devastating consequences for one village family. But first, here's a look at the latest COVID-19 figures.
Union leaders say that they are fighting for public officers who cannot afford a pay cut. Yet when GOB offered to exempt 1,500 public officers from the pay cut, union leaders refuse. 1,500 public officers making the least, including healthcare workers, teachers, law enforcement officers, would have been exempt. No pay cut. But union leaders did not want to hear that. GOB offered to provide loan facilities to public officers. Union leaders did not want to hear that. GOB offered leniency for defaulting loans until the crisis passes. Union leaders did not want to hear that. Seriously? What is their agenda? What or who are union leaders fighting for? This is a time for rebuilding and progress, not protest. Many thousands of our workers are jobless, but union leaders want to strike over a 10% pay cut. Who will really suffer? We're all in this together. Remember that. Together for Belize.
Hi, I am Rosana Briseño. I am happy to see that the rollout of the COVID-19 vaccine has begun all over our nation. If we are to get back to some kind of normalcy, if our golden citizens will be better protected, and if our children are to go back to school, then we need to get vaccinated. I believe in the COVID-19 vaccine, and when my turn comes around, I will get vaccinated. I urge you to take it too. #GetVaccinated_Belize.
It is my time
to protect your life.
Don't wait to vaccinate.
I believe in the COVID-19 vaccine.
The vaccine is the best way to protect lives.
Don't wait, vaccinate.
Don't hesitate, Belize.
Vaccinate.
Be COVID-19 safe.
If you care,
love them.
Protect them.
Vaccinate them.
During the COVID-19 pandemic, a safe and healthy workplace is a better workplace. It reduces the risk of infecting workers and visitors. An unhealthy workplace makes problems that are common to a pandemic even worse, such as increased workloads, longer working hours, isolation, domestic violence, stress, anxiety, and depression. On the other hand, a healthy workplace protects people, allows businesses to continue operations, and keeps communities healthy. You can do your part by following these steps. Wear a mask that covers your mouth and nose. Stay at least 6 feet away from others. Wash your hands with soap and water for at least 20 seconds. Look out for and follow all safety instruction signs. Stay at home and away from others if you feel ill. Speak up if you do not feel safe.
It takes all of us to slow the spread. A safe and healthy workplace is a better workplace.
For more information, visit www.covid19.bz. A message from the Belize Chamber of Commerce and Industry and the National Trade Union Congress of Belize in collaboration with the International Labor Organization.
Currently, we're using Smart Elite VoIP calling plan. We use it interbranch, we use it to call outside, and we also use it to call internationally. It's far cheaper than what we used to have before. Our new PBX box is new. So the PBX is very good because I can call to my Sartaneja branch, I can call to my Kikaka branch, I can call to San Pedro branch, and there's no cost using the PBX. Actually right now, since we're in different locations, I can call main office from where I am at a no cost using the PBX system. I would recommend it, sure I would, especially the big enterprises who has a lot of employees. There's a lot of reduction in costs, 50% of saving. But that on a year, it's a lot of money that we're saving. Money that we could return to our members, since we give back dividend to our members.
Visit our showroom or call 670-6710 to find out how Smart's corporate plan and PBX systems can benefit your business. Consultation is free.
A Santa Familia family is grieving the loss of their only daughter. The 11-year-old girl and her little brother were mowed down by an alleged drunk driver behind the wheels of a truck. It happened just a stone's throw away from the children's home. Reporter Andrea Polanco traveled west today and has the following story.
She was my queen. She was the only that I got. I got 4 boys and 1 girl. She was the only one. My pretty daughter.
Overcome with grief from the loss of his only daughter, Luis Cruz broke down today as he remembers his 11-year-old little girl, Kiana Cruz, who was knocked down and killed. That same accident has also left his 5-year-old son, Jahir Cruz, in the hospital.
She may love to go to school, do work. She was smart. She was standard 5 already. He may used to love to cook, to help his mom. She was learning a lot from kitchen. But now I lose her.
The deadly accident happened in Santa Familia village in the Cayo district. The children were walking along this road just before 4:30 on Thursday evening as they headed back home from spending the day with their aunt when a villager who was driving this white truck ran them over in front of this house. The little girl was dragged and the impact flung her little brother to the side of the road. It happened near the village police station and just around the corner from the siblings' home. Cruz was at his work in Spanish Lookout when he got the dreadful call minutes after it happened.
My sister told me that it was my daughter and my son. They were coming home when a car crashed into them. And said they were discussing with the wife and then said that he was kind of drunk and suddenly then said they start the car and he gun speed and gun crashed straight to them, to my daughter, to my son.
And when he hit them, he didn't stop the first time?
He didn't stop, he still ran and my daughter was under the car.
So the car was dragging your baby girl?
Yes, he dragged her about 40 feet from where he knocked it down.
And the little boy, what's his condition at this time?
Well, he's at Belize City right now and he's critical condition because he received surgery on his upper jaw and his left foot is broken.
The report in the village is that the man behind the wheel was allegedly intoxicated. The family has learned that he fled the scene and was later recaptured by police. This afternoon, that man, Saudi Joseph Landero of Santa Familia, was hit with multiple charges, including causing manslaughter by negligence and failure to provide a specimen. But for this grieving family, that charge doesn't bring much comfort when they're now preparing to bury Kiana. For Luis Cruz, she was a bright light in their lives that was put out way too soon. He cautions drunk drivers to think before they get behind the wheel.
I just want to tell them people out there, they are drinking, we cannot drive. They want drink, we cannot drive. Because a lot of times these things they happen already. You see now what happened to my kids, thinking that sick of what? Sick of joking man and driving.
Reporting for News 5, I'm Andrea Polanco.
2 men who were arraigned on Tuesday on charges of raping a 12-year-old girl were today granted bail. Supreme Court Justice Herbert Lord granted Tashane Williams and Theodore Andrew bail of $10,000, but they must report to the police 3 times a week, not communicate with the victim, or go within 100 yards of her, in addition to other restrictions. Williams faces 1 count of rape and 1 count of attempted rape of the minor. Andrews is charged with 1 count of rape and 1 count of sexual assault. He is also accused of videotaping the incident in Belize City on Friday on March 26. Williams and Andrews were ordered to return to court on June 12. 3 people, including a 17-year-old minor, were today arraigned before Magistrate Tricia Pitts Anderson after police allegedly nabbed them with almost 9 pounds of marijuana and a little over half a pound of crack cocaine. Police conducted a search on Aaron Rowland's home in the West Lundiver area of Belize City on Thursday, when they reportedly found the drugs. Present at the time of the search was Shane Crawford and the minor. Police arrested all 3 and charged them each with 2 counts of possession of a controlled drug with intent to supply another. When we return, more details emerge in the traffic sticker scam in San Pedro. Mayor Wally Nunes on the extent of the fraud, up next.
I strive to give my child the best nutrition, but I know it's not enough. It's also important to protect him. Clim Growing Up or Clim 1 Plus contains prebiotics, vitamins and minerals that help strengthen their immune system, helping them achieve 100% protection plus nutrition. That's why I give my child Clim 1 Plus. Clim, your love, their future. Clim 1 Plus is not a breast milk substitute from 1 year on.
Want to leave a lasting impact when you travel? Then travel locally. Make memories to treasure for a lifetime while making a difference. Make protected areas your next travel destination. With over 25 protected areas under the APAMO umbrella, the possibilities for adventure and education are endless. You can bond with friends and family while trekking through the jungles to discover natural pools and breathtaking views. Or take that snorkeling trip to the magnificent world of coral gardens and marine life. Then camp under the stars to end off that perfect day in nature. By visiting protected areas, you are helping to preserve valuable plant and animal life. You're building local communities and you're keeping our natural and cultural heritage alive. You have that power. Travel locally and make an impact. We invite you to visit a protected area near you and discover the beauty of Belize's wild places. APAMO, the voice of Belize's protected areas.
Passengers traveling to the U.S. must present a negative COVID test or a documentation of having recovered from COVID-19 to travel to the U.S. In light of this, Maya, in partnership with Caring Hands Clinic, have established testing centers in all their municipal airports. Caring Hands Antigen Test Center is operational in San Pedro, Belize City, Dangriga, Placencia, and Hopkins. These testing facilities are staffed by licensed healthcare professionals, including doctors, registered nurses, and nurse practitioners. Testing is done using Abbott rapid test devices that are FDA approved and made in the USA. The service is safe, fast, affordable, and the close proximity of the centers makes them convenient. Walk-ins are welcomed, but appointments are encouraged. If you would like to make an appointment, please feel free to do so at Make your appointment, get tested, and in 15 minutes, you can get back to your vacation.
Un lugar de trabajo seguro y saludable protege a usted y a los suyos en su hogar. Todos debemos implicarnos y cumplir con las medidas para prevenir el contagio del virus. En el lugar de trabajo, practique siempre hábitos seguros y saludables y mantenga los lugares de trabajo limpios y desinfectados. Adapte las condiciones y métodos de trabajo para reducir el riesgo de contagio. Utilice correctamente y en todo momento el equipo de protección personal. Si no se siente seguro, dígalo. Su seguridad y salud es la prioridad. Los trabajadores de primera línea están expuestos a un mayor riesgo y necesitan una atención especial. Coopere y apóyelos.
It takes all of us to stop the spread. A safe and healthy workplace is a better workplace.
Para obtener más información, visite www.covid19.bz. Un mensaje de la Cámara de Comercio e Industria de Belice y el Congreso Nacional de Sindicatos de Belice, en colaboración con la Organización Internacional del Trabajo.
Several former and current employees of the traffic department in San Pedro have been detained by the police as an investigation continues into a traffic sticker scam in the island town. Today, Mayor Wally Nunes spoke with News 5 about how some residents were conned out of their money in exchange for fake traffic stickers. Even worse is that some persons knew that the stickers were fake, but nevertheless engaged in the crime. News 5 confirmed with the mayor that several raids have yielded incriminating evidence, and there seems to be insurance fraud too.
Based on information, the police, San Pedro police, decided to do some search, and they went ahead and searched these persons, which they themselves had in custody some of the stickers in their computer. They found some more evidence, and that's why they had to detain both of them. Based on that information, we had to make a decision yesterday to close down the traffic department so that we can have a little further investigation and to back up all the system and the computers. At the moment, we have had 2 persons that were employees, and we have had 2 persons that are civilians who actually had the stickers with them.
Now, is there anything to suggest that there was collusion with persons still employed at the traffic department?
Yes, some of the information that has been given to us states that there are some people still involved. So that's why we are doing this investigation, and we're not going to let them come to work, and we want to do a full investigation. We don't have an exact figure. We just know that it is licensed. Not only licenses, but insurance as well. So both the insurance companies and the town council will have to look into this matter very seriously, because it is revenue loss, and we need to look into it so that we can get to the bottom of it, because this is something that seems to have been ongoing for quite a while.
So as you heard, there were also fake insurance documents being issued. Mayor Nunes says that the investigation continues to determine the extent of the scam, as well as the total amount of money that was fraudulently acquired in the obvious breach of process. But what happens to those who unknowingly purchase these fake stickers and insurance? Will they get their money back and be legitimate sticker reissued?
That would have to be dealt with by the law. That doesn't really comes through the council to make a decision on to what happens to them. But once you are buying a ticket or a sticker from a traffic officer, from a warden, and the money is not coming directly to the town council, you're not getting an official receipt from the town council, then you must be worried about what is going on and where is that money going to, because we are listening to some information out there that they're saying that they were even paying more. So why would somebody want to pay more for a ticket that you can get it for way less here at the council? And if you have your town council receipt, then we can look into that as a different situation. But we're asking people to please cooperate with us and to bring in their stickers if they have any stickers that they might believe that are fake. It can be the ATC-CC sticker, which is the Barangay Ski Traffic Control Committee sticker, or the license sticker.
Since taking office, the new POP San Pedro Town Council has been poring over the accounts at the Town Council, and the findings, according to Mayor Wally Nunes, are shocking. Between 2019 and 2021, $12 million in property taxes have not been collected. The council has an overdraft of $2 million, exorbitant utility bills, and had been operating at a deficit of $500 daily. In a nutshell, Mayor Nunes explains that the council is broke.
The employees have had no files. The trade license is very low compared to many other places. Some places were actually paying as little as $60 on a trade license for a golf cart rental. We have the tax department that some are paying half of their tax. Some of them, like one of the business places here in downtown San Pedro, they're only paying $120 a year of property tax. Our loans from personal entities, we have a person that came over that the council made a loan from them. How legal is that? We need to find out and to get to the bottom of it. We have had no accounting entered into our QuickBooks since 2019, as I had mentioned to you. Our main accountant resigned, and the Excel file had a negative 500 when they balance every day. Our investigation is underway with BEL and BWS, as we have had very, very high bills, and the parks and the stadiums, which are also connected with BEL and BWS, have not been used. So why our bills are so high? Our barracks, there was no organization at the town barracks and the town council property with respect to the equipment was zero when we got there. There was no equipment, not even tools. The town council property has gone missing despite requesting information from all the employees, and the properties have not been found.
During our one-on-one interview with Mayor Wally Nunes, we asked about the road to recovery for San Pedro businesses and resorts as the COVID-19 pandemic continues. Thousands have lost their employment, and a number of businesses shuttered when the tourism industry crashed. Visitors to the island have increased over the last few months, especially over the Easter weekend, when many hotels were booked to capacity. But what is the long-term recovery plan for the island?
When you talk about San Pedro and you know the nightlife, there has been many nightclubs and late night bars that have closed down. Some restaurants have closed down. Resorts that have been actually locked down as well, that we're hoping that they come back. It is rebounding slowly. We're not there. Compared to what we were in the tourism. Right now, the unemployment is still high. We are working on trying to get these people back to work. We have our expos that we are doing here on the island so that we can try to stimulate a little bit of the economy. But in general, the unemployment is still high. The tourism sector looks like it's increasing a little bit. We're getting a little bit more tourists, but compared to what we had before, it is still low in numbers. The airlines have a lot of bookings for the upcoming months, which is looking a little promising. But that's all we can do. We are hoping that we can get the tourists back. We all know we depend on the tourism here on the island, and the San Pedro Town Council is working with the people so that we can try to get the businesses up and running.
Just ahead, the volcano in St. Vincent erupts and thousands evacuate. The threat to the small island when we come back. But first, here's the weather forecast with data from the Belize Met Service.
Both men and women are almost equally infected by the virus that causes COVID-19. However, men seem to have a higher risk of severe infection and of dying from this disease. Research is showing that men are at a higher risk of dying from COVID-19 because men are still socializing and visiting friends. Men do not frequently wash hands with soap and water. A few men do not believe the situation is that serious. Men delay visiting a doctor even when they start to have symptoms like fever, dry cough, and tiredness. Men think wearing a face mask makes them look weak or uncool. And men tend to misuse alcohol, which has a negative effect on the immune and respiratory systems. Let's protect ourselves so that we can protect our families and loved ones. Use a face mask that covers nose, mouth, and chin. Wash your hands with soap and water for at least 40 seconds, or use an alcohol-based hand sanitizer. Practice physical distancing of at least 6 feet. Support men's health and help keep Belize safe. A message from the Pan American Health Organization, World Health Organization, the European Union, and the Ministry of Health and Wellness.
Preventing the spread of COVID-19 at work requires that businesses of all sizes and sectors put safety and health first. Managers and employees should conduct risk assessments to identify critical areas and procedures that put lives and businesses in danger. Here are 6 tips for creating a safe and healthy working environment. 1. Identify potential sources of virus transmission. 2. Determine who might be infected and how. 3. Discuss and decide prevention and control measures. 4. Make sure the safety equipment being used is right for the situation. 5. Implement, communicate, and test measures. 6. Keep records, review measures, and update when necessary.
We must all do our part to slow the spread. A safe and healthy workplace is a better workplace.
For more information, visit www.covid19.bz. A message from the Belize Chamber of Commerce and Industry and the National Trade Union Congress of Belize in collaboration with the International Labor Organization.
Hello? Okay, sure, I'll be there.
Hi, Mommy. When are you coming home? I really miss you.
Hearing the voice of our loved ones can always lift our spirits and make us feel whole again. With Smart's twice as nice promotion, prepaid customers who make 5 minutes worth of national calls on Sundays can enjoy 50% off. Top double on all national calls for the rest of the day. Call your loved ones and enjoy half off all day long. Smart, bringing people together.
Durante la pandemia de la COVID-19, un lugar de trabajo seguro y saludable es un lugar de trabajo mejor. Esto reduce el riesgo de transmisión del virus entre trabajadoras, trabajadores y clientes. Los lugares de trabajo inseguros agravan los problemas durante la pandemia. Aumento de la carga de trabajo, jornadas laborales más largas, aislamiento, violencia doméstica, estrés, ansiedad y depresión. Trabajar de manera segura protege a las personas, permite seguir operando y mantiene a las comunidades saludables. Usted puede hacer la diferencia siguiendo los siguientes pasos: usando máscaras para cubrir boca y nariz, respetando el distanciamiento físico de 6 pies, lavándose las manos con jabón durante al menos 20 segundos, siguiendo instrucciones y señalización de seguridad y salud, quedándose en casa si está enfermo, diciéndolo si no se siente seguro.
It takes all of us to slow the spread. A safe and healthy workplace is a better workplace.
Para obtener más información, visite www.covid19.bz. Un mensaje de la Cámara de Comercio e Industria de Belice y el Congreso Nacional de Sindicatos de Belice en colaboración con la Organización Internacional del Trabajo.
This morning, a volcano on the island of St. Vincent erupted, and since then, there have been several explosions. Residents on the island have been evacuated from the immediate area, but ashes have been permeating the air in the neighboring island country of Barbados. News 5's Dwayne Moody's report includes a first-hand account from the spouse of Belizean Kimberly Pitts-Taylor.
A few weeks ago, the La Soufriere volcano on St. Vincent and the Grenadines became active, and government officials, as well as residents on the island, were on a volcano watch. Precautionary measures had been taken to evacuate residents from within the immediate area of the volcano, as the meteorological office in that country began monitoring. Since 1979, 42 years ago, the volcano has not erupted, but just before 7 o'clock this morning, oozing lava began sliding down the mountainside. Billowing smoke of ash can be seen in the sky as onlookers are left in awe.
St. Vincent is very small, and even if you're far away, you're able to see what's happening, or we see the mushroom cloud, and we were able to see it, and we start calling everyone, around what was happening. The government issued an evacuation yesterday because, if you didn't know, the volcano started erupting effusively since in December, around the 28th of December. And from then until about yesterday, a lot has changed because we start getting a lot of tremors coming from the volcano.
Like hurricanes, residents are in danger of losing their lives and their livelihoods as a result of the natural disaster. It has triggered an emergency situation in the neighboring Caribbean community. As of this morning, there were 2,000 persons spread over 20 shelters in St. Vincent and 20,000 persons to be evacuated. Darren Taylor and his Belizean wife Kimberly are in the green zone about 10 miles from the volcano.
Most people were evacuated. Obviously, they had a lot of traffic jam last night, and the good news is that it didn't erupt last night, it erupted this morning, and a lot of people were able to get out. We have had evacuation both on land, vehicles, buses, and also we sent in ferries to evacuate people from from those areas.
The highly abrasive ash cloud from the volcano could be seen from a distance. It is being closely monitored by the neighboring island country of Barbados. There are concerns about the respiratory complications associated with this phenomenon, and so a press conference was called to detail its plan of action, especially to quell hysteria.
The eruption itself has eased off since the 841 incident, but it's still ongoing, but it's not as aggressive as that incident, and therefore the smoke and ash is not getting very high elevations since this morning. And as a result, what we saw on our satellite imagery this morning, the plume has eased off in terms of what's coming out of the La Soufrière and traversing towards the east. It's hanging around, mostly around St. Vincent, and there are deposits around the airport side, and particularly north of the island. Our colleagues from the Met Services in St. Vincent have actually indicated there's light ash fall around the airport, not significant, but it appears to be a lot heavier in the northern section of the island.
Dwayne Moody for News 5.
And that's the news. Tonight's broadcast is available in both text and streaming video at channel5belize.com. You can also connect with us on our Facebook page at facebook.com/News5Live. I'm Sabrina Daly. Thanks for joining us, and from all of us here at News 5, please remember to wash your hands, keep your social distance, and stay safe. Good night.